Good morning. Welcome to this historic event at Delaware State University that kicks off Black History Month for 2016. This is a teachable moment at Delaware State University. We attempt in the College of Arts and Sciences to promote teachable moments for our students outside the classroom, so they are allowed to see it, to hear it, and in occasions like this, actually feel it. We connected this event with current events around the Black Lives Matter movement. And the Black Panthers themselves, that were founded in October of 1966, originated from the same principles: police brutality in California. And so we thank you for coming. Mr. Seale, who was one of the main inspirations for that organization, he and Huey Newton were co-founders, and he will tell us this morning much of what happened at that time, but definitely how it continues today. The struggle continues. At this time, we're going to hear a few words from the president of our university, Dr. Harry L. Williams.
Thank you, Dean Stevenson, and good morning. I wanted to be here today to witness this historic moment. It's not every day that you get an opportunity to see a living legend. It's not every day. When you are on a college campus, you have opportunities to touch people from all over the world. And to be here today to have the founder of the Black Panther movement here is significant. It's significant because you can tie it into what's happening in the United States today. Just imagine 50 years ago, Mr. Bobby Seale was 19 years old, just like you. And he did something about what was happening. And he organized a powerful organization that provided positive energy within the Black community. It wasn't all focused on fighting or carrying guns. It was about giving back to the community and having pride associated with that. And you're going to hear that story today. And it's important for you to reflect on it because you're in the process right now in terms of your educational development of developing your personalities and developing your what you stand for. And when you have that opportunity, it's great to be able to witness a person that lived it and a person that actually went through some difficult times, and he is still standing. He is still standing, and he can express that, and you can see it. And this will motivate you, and it will also allow you to dream, and to dream about what you can do. Here at Delaware State University, we're always pushing our students to stretch their minds and to take yourself out of yourself and recognize how important it is for you to give back. So I'm honored to be here today with Mr. Seale. I'm honored and also proud of our Dean Marcia Stevenson, for challenging our faculty and challenging our faculty to come up with creative programs like this that will be with you for the rest of your life. So I want you to sit back, I want you to listen, and I want you to hear the message, and I want you to think about it and how you can apply it to what you're going to do, because you're going to be successful and you're going to do a lot of positive things in this world. And this is an opportunity for you to hear from someone that's been through a lot, but he's still standing strong and tall. So again, welcome to Delaware State, and Mr. Seale, I'm honored that you're here on our campus here today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Regine Price, and I am a political science major here at Delaware State University. Bobby Seale founded the Black Panther Party with Huey P. Newton in October 1966. He was the first chairman of the Black Panther Party, and he worked as national organizer. Seale became politicized in 1962 after hearing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speak in Oakland. Bobby Seale was truly inspired by the work, advocacy, and protest actions displayed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and Malcolm X. Seale joined the Afro-American Association at Merritt College in 1962. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was formed in response to police brutality and economic strife in the Black community. Seale worked in the Department of the Human Resources at the North Oakland Neighborhood Service Center when the Black Panther Party was started with the completion of the founding documentation of the 10-point platform and program. Later in the 1970s, as the Black Panthers faded from the public view, Seale took on a quieter role, working toward improving social services in the Black neighborhoods and other causes. In his lifetime, he has lectured at more than 500 colleges and universities, averaging 2 or more appearances at more than 100 universities across the United States, along with several hundred community and protest movement speaking advocacy events between 1967 and 2016. In 2002, Seale moved back to Oakland to work with young political activists to spark social change. Defining himself as a revolutionary humanist, Mr. Seale has remained a social change activist for over 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Bobby Seale.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, in the old days, we used to say, right on. And we used to shout, power to the people. And the brothers and the sisters all around, chapters and branches, I mean, our songs is like folkloric stuff. Power to the people. You know, it could step to it rhythmatically. Power to the people, right on, right on, right on. I mean, the spirit, I mean, to be inspired, etc. Wow, I was a little engineer on the Gemini missile program at Kaiser Aerospace and Electronics. I worked there for 3 years. And in that period, I got interested in the civil rights movement. I got interested in these guys running around talking about Afro-American Association, what have you, et cetera. And then in that same period, I went to hear this guy named Martin Luther King that I'd been hearing so much about. In Oakland, California, at the Oakland Auditorium, 7,000 seats. Now, at this time, I'm a student at Merritt College, either 6 or 9 credit hours, because I worked a full-time job at night at Kaiser Aerospace and Electronics, the engineering department. But when I went to hear Dr. King speak, his brother was there, you know, and it's a thing about me hearing Dr. King speak because I stopped going to churches to hear just the hell and damnation over and over and over and over, you know what I mean? But this preacher was talking about doing stuff and changing stuff, you know? So I want to hear this brother. And there I was sitting in the auditorium, 7,000 people, and he ran it on about all these different companies and people all across America who don't hire black folks. And finally, he gets on the bread companies in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area. And Dr. King says, and here in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area, Kilpatrick's Bread Company, Langendorf Bread Company would not hire people of color. He says, and all across America, Wonder Bread Company will not hire people of color. He said, I say we're gonna have to boycott them. And we want to boycott them so consistently and so profoundly, we want to make Wonder Bread wonder where the money went. Dr. King inspired me, you know. I says, wow, this brother's what's happening. And of course, it rolled around that the Civil Rights Bill passed. And I wound up quitting my job. I've been working there 3 years on the Gemini missile program. And I quit my job just to work in the community. I wasn't married at the time, what have you. And that's what happened. And I wound up creating a youth jobs tutorial program in Northwestern California, a very poor and low income community in Richmond, California. It was a youth jobs program where we took the 10th grader, 11th grader, and 12th grader and junior college person. would tutor the first grader, second grader, third grader, and so on. We hired 100 youth in that program and put that program together, got other people in the community who was indigenous community, trained in a 1.5-year period, trained them, our job descriptions, et cetera, bought the building, just put the whole little institution in the community. It was an educational institution and an economic program. That was the very first program I put together. And then, of course, the next program I put together following the death of Malcolm X was the Black History Fact Group. Me and Virgil Morrell put that together. Now, Huey has written in this book that he put it together. He didn't put it together. Huey had nothing to do with putting the Black History Fact Group together and us getting Black history into the curriculum. He wrote that in his book. Huey wrote a lot of stuff in this book that we were studying Che Guevara and all the stuff at that early one-year point. Not true. We didn't study real socialist material, not to start in early 1968. But that's neither here nor there. Those are the kind of programs that preceded the Black Panther Party. And simultaneously, at another point there, I was working for the city government of Oakland, California, as the young lady had mentioned there. And I was a community liaison for the North Oakland Neighborhood Service Center. 1965, a year before we created the Black Panther Party, Brother Kwame Ture, then Stokely Carmichael, in fact, came to the forefront and they popularized that book and that work and that slogan, Black Power, we want Black Power, et cetera. And there was quite a few young brothers and sisters talking about that, and then I started looking at them and saying, look, you know what? You guys talking about Black Power, I says, but y'all just chanting. You know what you got to do? I says, you're going to have to organize something so we can take over some political seats, because you ain't going to have no power until you take over the political seats. Oh, them the white man seats. I said, the white man seats? I said, them are political seats. We supposed to take over them seats and make them black folks seats, the people's seats. And I'm trying to get them to understand that, you know. And then I said to myself, I asked myself, I wonder how many black folks are duly elected to political office in the United States of America. This is 1965, a year before we started the Black Panther Party. And I started clocking black politicians across country. And I got to a point of 50 black politicians who were duly elected to political office, including Adam Clayton Powell at the time. And I said, wow, maybe it's a few more, but I ain't got but 50 people. And I said, well, wait a minute, how many political seats are there you can be elected to in the United States of America? And looking at it, you know what I mean? I'm not just major political seats in Senate and House of Representatives, I'm talking about real political seats in the grassroots communities. And so you start looking at even part-time mayor seats and part-time city council seats in small cities. And you look at major cities with major city council seats, aldermen, what have you, et cetera, and so on. These are just the city council seats in the cities where they have a city charter, where the city charter is the generalized governing laws. Then I says, wait a minute. Then there's the county seats, county supervisorial seats. Whoa, that's right. And looking at that, I says, wow, political seats. These are political power seats. Boom. And then I noticed something. I says, wait a minute. A sheriff is elected in every city, every county, duly elected. Not appointed, but duly elected. I says, wow, boom, boom. And so in my arguments with the rest of these guys, I says, you know what? You guys, you're talking about this stuff, you're going to have to start talking about registering people to vote even here in California, because we have the right to vote in California. They don't have the right to vote down south. But if we was down south, I says, I clocked some 20 different counties across states in the South that had a majority or extremely large populations of black folks, but they were not allowed to vote. And you got some old racist Ku Klux Klan white sheriff being the sheriff, running roughshod over the majority of black folks, what have you, et cetera. I says, don't you understand? That's a political power seat. You cannot run around here just talking black power this and black power that, boom, 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 boom. You got to organize to take over some of these damn political seats. Well, if we took over the sheriff's seats, I said, well, imagine. What if you did go down there and got them all registered to vote? I said, they're getting ready to pass the Voting Rights Act and got them all registered to vote. and you elected a real progressive, take-no-crap, ex-Marine black guy like Robert Williams. He's out of the country now, I was telling him. I says, but boom, you could, that sheriff then could, if the Ku Klux Klan jumped up and started some crap, the sheriff then, with his political power, elected seat, could deputize 100 black folks, men and women, 200 of them with guns and everything, and kick the Ku Klux Klan's ass. That's political power. Oh, okay, yeah. I said, so that I'm trying to show you as a preface to my thinking as we rolled over to begin in Oakland, California, to create my organization, the Black Panther Party. I wanted a mass political organization across the country. The 10-point platform and program came about. First, we took some notes at my house. I lived across the street from Merritt College. But what happened was, Virgil Morell's a very close political science friend of mine. He works in Washington, D.C. now today, et cetera. Anyway, we organized the Black History Fact Group, and we changed the Black History Fact Group into Soul Students Advisory Council. And then with Soul Students Advisory Council, we made a move to organize black folks, black students against the war in Vietnam, particularly black guys, black males against the war in Vietnam, not letting ourselves, arguing that we should not let ourselves be drafted to fight in the war in Vietnam because this country in 1966 was not recognizing or enforcing our constitutional democratic civil human rights. That's where we were coming from. And at that rally, I had sent a message out to Huey, to via Richard Ioke, that if you can get a hold of Huey, tell him that he needed to come to this rally. Because, you know, when Malcolm X was killed some months before that, I asked Huey, I said, hey man, we want to organize a new organization. Huey was saying, well, I don't think you can do it because black folks don't know enough about their history, Huey said. And anyway, I've graduated from Merritt College and I'm in law school and I really want to deal with this thing in law school. I said, okay, man, whatever, boom, boom, boom. So, me, I could care less if he don't want to work, boom, I go and I start organizing. So I organized a lot of other things. But I organized that rally, 700 students in there, mainly black American students. It was a rally with a play, with speakers, et cetera. How are we not going to let ourselves be drafted in the war in Vietnam, et cetera, and so on. I was the master of ceremonies for the whole program, et cetera. 3.5-hour program in the auditorium there at Merritt College. Huey came at the tail end of it, and I had recited this poem, Uncle Sammy Called Me Full of Lucifer, at the rally, brought the house down. Boom, everybody loved that poem. And then Huey opened the door right as I finished that poem, the side door, like I'm on the stage here and it's a side door, and then he opened the door and he looked in and saw 700 students in there raving about this poem that I had just recited. And I got off the stage and walked out. I said, hey man, what's happening? Huey says, you organize all these people? I said, yeah. All these people, you organize them. So Virgil said, yeah, Bobby organized all these people. Me and I helped them, and Richard Ioke helped him. Well, Huey was shocked, And so what's going on? I said, we got a new organization. What, Soul Students Advisory Council? I said, how many we sign up, Virgil? Virgil said, we got 250 some odd people signed up to be part of the new student organization here on Merritt College campus called Soul Students Advisory Council. Well, where are you going now? I said, I'm going to feed my troops. Feed your troops? I said, yeah, man, come on. We going to my house. We go to my house. Well, you know me, I've been in the military service, and of course, my people down from Texas, you know what I mean? And back on the farm down there, everybody eats and everything. So eating and food was always a thing with me, you know what I mean? So I get them back over in my backyard across the street from Merritt College, most of the people who signed up, and I got barbecue ribs, chicken, whatever, my hickory honey seeds and collard greens and so on, et cetera, Bang, 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 bang. And Huey, he dove in. I mean, one thing of all the stuff with Huey, and all his transgressions and all his positive stuff that he did do, one thing he was about was eating. Anyway, my point is, yeah, that's what it was. And Huey was enamored, really, about this whole thing, because I started that new organization, got it going. 2 weeks later, we're up at the University of California, Berkeley. At night, we was doing a little bit of research in some of the record boutiques, old blues records and things like that, Stagger Lee and so on, et cetera. And I mean, some of my readings at this time, you know, I have digested W.E.B. Du Bois's Black Reconstruction. I've digested Frantz Fanon, you know, as Wretched of the Earth and so on. I mean, I've digested Marvel J. Herskovit's Myth of the Negro Past, a great anthropological work, you know, that exposes all the distortions and stereotypes about black folks in America, what have you, et cetera. I've digested 100 books and materials, et cetera, you know, through 62, 63, 64, 65, and boom. But that night, we was up around University of California. We left the record boutique. We walking down the street. Weasel is a friend of ours. My brother John Seale is walking along with us, et cetera. Hordes of people walking down Telegraph up there, in and around about University of California, 9 p.m. at night. And Huey is telling Weasel, oh, you should have been at the rally. Bobby started this poem, and he brought the house down. Come on, Bobby, why don't you recite your poem out here? I says, Huey, I'm not citing no poem out here, man. The night lit like this. And we walked down the street, and Huey kept insisting, et cetera, boom, boom, boom. And next thing I know, we're in the front of a cafe. It's got a few tables out front, et cetera, and somebody's sitting. Hordes of people are walking by. Huey said, come on, recite your poem. Uncle Sammy called me full of Lucifer. And I said, all right, man, okay. So I stood by the parking meter. I said, Uncle Sammy called me full of Lucifer. Well, I don't give a good eagle-eyed McFleagle triple whammy damn, for I feel his stick. And suddenly the crowd stopped, all while I said those lines, and a big bushy-headed white guy picks up a chair from one of the little tables he was sitting by and was walking over with a big marijuana cigarette in his hand. And he's walking over, hey, man, hey, and he puts the chair down. And I says, man, get the smoke out of my face. He says, but I was sitting there, and the people got in front of me, and I says, okay, man, I'll stand on the damn chair. I get on the chair. So it's an intersection right here, you know, going in, and people here stop, and I started the poem over. Uncle Sammy called me full of Lucifer. Well, I don't give a good eagle-eyed McFleagle triple whammy damn, for I feel his stick will not serve. Uncle Sammy, don't shuck and jive me. I'm hip to popcorn jazz changes you blow. You know damn well what I mean. You school my naive heart to sing red, white, and blue stars and striped songs and to pledge eternal allegiance to all things blue, true, blue-eyed, blonde hair, white chalk, white skin with USA tattooed all over. When my soul trusted Uncle Sammy, loved Uncle Sammy, I died in dreams playing war for you, Uncle Sammy. You jammed your emasculate manhood symbol puffed with gonorrhea. Gonorrhea of corrupt, unrealty mixed into my ungreased nigger ghetto black ass of my Jewish, Catholic, Hindu, Islamic Sioux. Sure, free public health penicillin cured me. But Uncle Sammy, if you want to stay a freak show strongman guard, fuck your motherfucking self. I will not serve. Now, that poem in the 60s at the University of California at night that I recited, hordes of people on the sidewalk, I'm talking about 50, 60 people jammed up listening, caused the crowd immediately to say, more. And Huey said, Weasel, I told you, Bobby is a great communicator, blah, 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 this kind of stuff. Bang, bang, bang. A uniformed cop is trying to wade through the back of the crowd. A yellow guy in yellow t-shirt and jeans walks up to me. I do not know this man as a cop. He never showed a badge. He grabs my arm. You used obscene language. You under arrest. I said, man, get your damn hands off of me. What's wrong with you? You use obscene language. I said, the Supreme Court just said the free speech movement wanted the right to say the four-letter word all they want. But you use obscene. I said, did you hear me? Fuck you. I can use that word. The Supreme Court said freedom of expression. Anyway, yellow t-shirt tackles me. Your uniformed cop gets in there. He gets in a fight with Huey. And we roll out in the thing, and so 2 or 3 more undercovers get on me, and they're beating me up on the ground in the intersection. And finally, my brother John Seale, with 2 other brothers, another Asian guy, and 2 hippies, kick all these other undercovers off of me. And then I pull out my knife. Now, some idiot wrote, it was against Bobby. And Bobby Seale pulled out his stiletto switchblade. This was what you call a utility knife. You know, the knife that's got 2.5-inch blade. It's got a can opener and a corkscrew in it. I had those. If you went to my garage and see all my different toolboxes, because I'm aircraft, carpentry, and all this stuff, I always had these knives, you know, so I happened to have one on me. And then when Yellow T-shirt came at me again, I cut him in the hand, you know, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, we went to jail. We went to jail that night. That was the first night. Now, I was just recently trying to talk to a city council person about the 50th anniversary program that I want to put on is going to be handled in Berkeley. He says, why not Oakland? I said, because Berkeley was the first place we had a fight with the police. Plus, we had a major office that was under attack. Anyway, I'm just saying that was the beginning. That put us in front of Judge Stats a few months later. And we could have went to jail for 1 to 10 years. And I told Judge Stats that I work for the Department of Human Resources. I keep people out of crime. And it's not fair for those police to lie and say they told me I was blocking the sidewalk. I said, the man didn't tell me that. I told Judge, I said, he told me I was using obscene language and boom, 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 in preliminary hearing, et cetera, and whatever. Anyway, I got to talk to Judge and they're giving us probation. So he gave us probation. Got down to the bottom of the steps and said, Huey, now we were at my house a week or so ago taking some notes on this idea of a new 10-point program. Meet me at the War on Poverty office tonight. I says, and we're gonna finish this 10-point program. I said, no, Huey, I don't wanna hear all that. Meet me tonight, we gotta do this. So we met us at the night, you know, being the community liaison, I'm the person who's got the keys to this joint. I'm the person that the police have to call in case some people broke in the joint. It's a city government job. You have to understand the relationship here. So even when the police when it did get break into, I would sling my pistol on my shoulder and walk down. The police, but they never said nothing about my pistol. You know, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, they broke through and took 2 typewriters, et cetera, bang, 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 bang. They take their report, and the police would leave. The party had not started yet, but it was that office that we finished writing the 10-point platform and program. We want power to determine our own destiny, our own black community. That was all about the need to unify political electoral community. That was the discussion we had. We want full employment for our people. I was a key person out of that city. When I had jobs from the state employment office, et cetera, they would send them through that office for that area, that community, that target area. I would get them, and I would go to the community and give these jobs out to brothers and sisters in the community in my job that I was working with the city government at the time. Decent housing, fit for shelter of human beings. I was raised a carpenter and a builder. My father built our first home for us when I was 7 years old in Port Arthur, Texas. My daddy was a master carpenter and a builder. My grandpa, Art Seale, was a master carpenter and builder. My grandpa built the town of Weirgate, Texas in the early 1900s through the Seale family, who ran the banking in Jasper, Texas. I gotta get what's your name to do me a genealogy. What's the brother's name up in Harvard up there? Gates. We gotta get my genealogy done, right? Okay. I'm just saying that's where I came from. So my grandfather, Art Seale, got the contracts for building some 500 houses in a little town called Weirgate, Texas, almost to the Louisiana border east of Jasper, Texas. My folks are from Jasper, Texas. And that is the framing of where I come from. So by the time I'm 15 years of age, I'm an architect already. I've already learned carpentry with my father from 7 years of age. When my father finished building our house in Port Arthur, Texas, I was 7 years of age. Then we moved and evolved through World War II jobs and stuff to Oakland or Berkeley, California. That's what happened. And so I wound up in California as a kid. And we had a home that we already built. So building houses and the idea of it, et cetera, that was all part of my makeup growing up, even before I got to the United States Air Force. So when you read the 10-point platform and program, I say all this because some people try to say we were copying the Nation of Islam's program. I said, we don't copy no Nation of Islam program. We said we want decent housing, fit for shelter of human beings. And I'm coming to that decent housing because I can design that stuff and know how to build it. And that's what I was doing with my father when I drew plans and stuff that passed license and inspections when he added rooms and dens to people's homes. So that was that. We wanted immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. That was Huey's. He put that line together. I wanted all black men to be exempt from any military service. That was related to that rally I had, that we didn't want to let ourselves be drafted anymore in fighting these wars without this country recognizing our constitutional rights, et cetera. And then, of course, the latter 2 points was Huey's because that was legal and penal, et cetera. And then we wanted land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. We put that together. And then I chose the first 2 paragraphs of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for any one people to dissolve the political bondage which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of humankind dictates that they should declare the causes which impel them to dissolve that political bondage. When a long train of abuses and usurpations pursues and invariably evinces a design to reduce a people under absolute despotism, then it is the right of the people to alter or change that government and provide new guards for their future security and happiness. This is where I was coming from. That's directly related to my arguments with young brothers in 1995 that we need some political power seats so we can change this son of a gun. You see what I'm talking about? So we can have some sheriff's badges, so we can run some city council and run some tax monies, et cetera, and make some, and evolve some economic parity and fairness in our communities. That is where we were coming from, that 10-point platform and program. All the points in that 10-point platform and program is directly interconnected with all the continuing issues and problems to this very day in the United States of America, et cetera, where we argue about the need for our constitutional, democratic, civil, human rights. The Black Panther Party's first year had no more than 50 people in our organization. Very important. We were very, very ragtag. We were a ragtag organization. The first people, what was that? Was it March? Yeah, it was March, 1967. Huey says, "How much money you got?" I said, "I don't know, a couple $100. I got 5 minutes. I thought I got a chance to speak till, why you tell me that? I thought I had an hour here, 45 minutes. Oh, you want a Q&A? All right, hold on. Let me summarize this for you. It's a lot of history here. There's a lot of history after that. Prior to Dr. Martin Luther King getting killed, I had no more than 400 members in the Black Panther Party up and down the West Coast, from Seattle to San Diego. Plus, I had created a coalition with SCLC, Dr. King, via Dr. Reverend Ralph Abernathy calling me, with Dr. King for the Poor People's March and to work with a round table. That's what Dr. King was asking, that he had 100 organizational groups and he wanted to know would you, Bobby Seale, and the Black Panther Party would be willing to participate as yet another organization. I said, yes. I had a great admiration for Dr. King. A lot of people in context, oh, Dr. King is nonviolent, we revolutionary. People misunderstand what revolution is about. It wasn't about violence and nonviolence in that context. Re-evolving more political, economic, and social justice empowerment in the hands of the people is the revolution. That's the revolution. A firefight or defending yourself from some police, defending you is a firefight, defending yourself. You see what I mean? That's not revolution. Revolution is not about, and I argued that in my argument, a need for violence. It's not about a need for violence, but we will defend ourselves if we are attacked. That was just a principle that Malcolm X, at least I remember him saying, and I thought it was great because I already knew about defending myself because I seen my father defend himself when a man tried to kill him when he was 13 years old, when I was 13 years of age. But self-defense is an act of intelligence, Malcolm X said. So that's where we were coming from. But it was the death of Dr. Martin Luther King, 5 or 6 weeks later after I formed the coalition with SCLC, that caused young folks from April to November of 1968, my organization swelled from 400 people up and down the West Coast to 5,000 young black men and women, mostly women, in the Black Panther Party all across the United States of America. 49 chapters and branches. And all during that summer, I went to practically all of these chapters and branches. And I did my best to teach them the fine particulars and the methodology of effective grassroots community organizing. The breakfast programs, the free health clinics, et cetera, were not just quote unquote service programs, and they were tangible, real programs that gave real service, but they were demonstrating the problem. They were demonstrating the need for health care, demonstrating the need of hunger in our community, et cetera. In other words, you should ask the question, what was the success of the Breakfast for Children program? It evolved with me creating the first free Breakfast for Children program at St. Augustine's Church, September 1968. By March of 1969, J. Edgar Hoover, head cop, flatfoot, racist, fascist cop in the United States of America at the time, is on national television. The Black Panthers Breakfast for Children program is a threat to the internal security of America. A breakfast program feeding kids? I mean, you got to see the fascist mentality of this man. I mean, in research of our film, Stephen is here, he works with us on our film that we're doing. You know what I mean? We got the smoking gun evidence of Nixon on the phone in a Watergate tape that had been made public, and Nixon is saying right after he's sworn in early 1969, now, J. Edgar, have you moved on these Black Panthers, J. Edgar? Yes, sir, we've been working on that. Well, I need you to do it. I need you to get rid of these Black Panthers from me. Now, John Mitchell's going to be calling you. Yes, sir, J. Edgar Hoover says, sir. The smoking gun evidence. And then John Mitchell, United States Attorney General under Richard M. Nixon, a week or two later is up on national television. By the end of this 1969 year, we'll be rid of these Black Panthers. What has happened here? They murdered Dr. Martin Luther King April 4th. By the time Nixon is elected, I have moved from 400 members to 5,000 members. Yeah, half of them are Rally Panthers, but my point is the Rally Panthers are very important. They Panthers for me because they're consistent coming to them rallies and doing a little work here and there, but then we had the other half who's doing the hard work. 5,000, 49 chapters and branches throughout the United States of America is what was going on. We were in a prime position. We had already run for political office in Oakland, myself, Kathleen Cleaver, Eldridge Cleaver, and others, with our names on the ballot. No, we didn't win, but we laid the foundation to learn to begin to take political power seats. Remember the political power seats I keep talking about? That's what I was after. That was all part of my political organizing strategy while my friend Huey sit in jail. Huey Newton was not there when I organized people all across the country. Huey was in jail for 3.5 years while I organized this stuff and put it together. But the power structure says, no, they're going to stop us. And it couldn't have been just because we had a few little shotguns and pistols to defend ourselves. And you couldn't tell me that. I just come out of the United States Air Force a few years ago. I mean, I'm a structural repair, have B-52 bombers. I would watch from a distance when they would load the nuclear weapons on these goddamn bombers and put bombers in the sky. This is when the Cold War crap was going on. So I'm not running around here thinking that I have the firepower or any kind of power. That's not the point. That's not what revolution is about. I was trying to tell these brothers and sisters that once we get these chapters and branches started, well, I'm going to teach them how to organize politically and electorally in their community. Know and understand the councilmatic district you're in, the county seat framework, et cetera, and so on, et cetera. Who are the politicians? Who are the positive ones? Who's the negative ones? Should we run? This is the kind of stuff. with those programs. When you put up when you put up a program in the community to feed the people, et cetera, blah, 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 you unite and you register people to vote. Because once you unify that electoral power, you can take over political power seats. That was the concept. Understand that. So the Black Lives Movement has to also relate to that. And I know I don't want you to have to run around here messing around with some mono leader who says yay or nay in dictatorial form or fashion, blah, blah, blah. Committee leadership, community committee leadership. That's what I was trying to do with every chapter in the Black Panther Party. You know what I mean? A deputy minister of defense, a deputy minister of this, a deputy minister of chairman, a deputy minister of health, deputy minister so-and-so, some field marshals, et cetera. They make up the committee, the organizing committee of each chapter and each branch. Because they are also going to put programs up, register people to vote, and in registering people to vote, they're going to unify the people in the community, and they're going to take over some of the political power seats so they can step by step whittle away and get rid of the racist laws that are in city charters, that are in county seat frameworks. That is what it's about. Even today with the Black Lives Movement. One of the programs I stand on today is I want environmental renovation youth jobs projects. So that's what I'm going to try to work on. That's what I'm still working on. I put so many programs up as a crying shame in the community. We started off with breakfast programs, et cetera, with some of the other brothers and sisters. Oh man, they got so creative with this stuff. I said, we need programs. Next thing I know, Winston-Salem got a free ambulance program. Richmond, Virginia chapter had a free pest control program. And so Sister Audrey Jones, she ran the Boston, Massachusetts State chapter there. She had a free pharmacy program. See, young brothers and sisters, when they know and understand what to do, boy, they was something else. They got on out there and did that and put that together. They were the best contemporary grassroots community organizers in the world as far as I was concerned, because they got out there and made this organization what it was on a national scale. That's what happened. Above and beyond my friend Huey Newton's transgressions and all the other crap, this was the real Black Panther Party. And it's a piece of profound human involvement history. And it's all about our continuing human liberation struggle. Thank you very much.
Last evening, if you were here, we showed a film called The Black Panthers, Vanguard of the Revolution. It will premiere on PBS February the 16th. If you view that film, you will see the formation, the evolution, and the demise of the party, but you will see in full length what Bobby is talking about, what the Panthers were all about, and how the government twisted the story of what they were trying to do. You need to see that film to enlighten yourself further. At this time, we want to take a few questions from the audience to let Mr. Seale address your concerns and some understanding. Yes, ma'am. Speak loudly, please. How do you think the Black Panthers are relevant today, what they did?
How do I think the Black Panthers are relevant today? Okay.
Will society review the Black Panthers as today?
Well, what are Black Panther Party members? You know, you got a group around here called the New Black Panthers. I don't endorse them. I don't, because they have a bunch of cheap racist rhetoric manifested in their language. So it doesn't reflect a goal objective that make human sense in terms of what our goal objectives are about in terms of liberation. So how are society viewing that group? This group confuses what we were really about. It confuses this New Black Panther group. You know what I mean? They're running around up and down the East Coast while I live on the West Coast telling people that I support them in secret. I don't support them in secret. I can see it all now. Them dudes go out there, if I supported them, go out and do something dumb, or some COINTELPRO operator will be amongst them and get them to do it, say, Bobby Seale told you to do this. Next thing you know, I'm in jail on trial and some idiot is lying again on me, trying to put me in an electric chair or something. You see what I'm getting at? So I'm trying to sell you about a human liberation struggle. The original Black Panther Party that I created with Huey Newton, but I created and organized all across this country. I'm trying to get you to understand that. I didn't deal in the, you couldn't come into my office talking about all white people are devils. I said, that's totally unscientific. What are you talking about? Well, you see, I said, brother, go on over the nation, Lism. I said, this is it. I'm teaching dialectics here. Dialectics, yeah, quantitative increase, quantitative decrease causes a qualitative leap or change. The increased amount of times you sell the Black Panther Party newspaper and your assigned precinct, voting district, and the increased amount of times that you put programs there, you are decreasing the apathy and increasing the consciousness. Quantitative increase, quantitative decrease causes a qualitative leap or change. I get a party member, I don't give a darn whether he's illiterate or literate, to understand the application of that dialectical principle in my PE classes. You couldn't come in there talking all this off-the-wall stuff. So I think, how are the people receiving the Black Lives Movement? You see the Black Lives Matter movement. That's the most important thing. You see what I'm getting at? In the Black Panther Party, all we can do is teach and help and advise with ourselves. I'm 79 years of age. And yeah, I still stand up straight because I go to the gym every day. You know what I mean? But my point is, society can, what we advocate, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, we advocate the same thing. Listen to what's happening there. You know what I mean? This is the stuff we was working on back then. Healthcare, affordable healthcare. We had a free preventative medical healthcare clinics all over the country in our chapters and branches.
Another question. Here, yes, sir.
What other Black organizations?
Yeah, go ahead.
What other Black organizations supported the Black Panthers at that?
What other Black organizations supported the Black Panther Party at that time in the 60s?
The NAACP. Roy Wilkins headed up the NAACP. I talked to him several times on the phone in 1968. Roy Wilkins helped us, the Black Panther Party, put together the best network of lawyers across the United States of America as our party chapter branches were being attacked, etc. One thing you have to understand about the Black Panther Party, we had one of the best network of lawyers in this country. And through all the courtroom cases that we had across America, including mine and many others that you didn't even hear about, we won 95% of all our cases directly or indirectly across the United States of America. That's right. SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, with Dr. Rep. Abernathy. The African Americans Policemen's League came out to support the Black Panthers in opposition to the FBI and the police in Chicago attacking and killing and murdering Brother Fred Hampton, et cetera, and so on. I mean, we had 100 different organizations and groups came out against them. It caused a Senate investigation hearing against the police department and especially the FBI, who was using the police departments to organize and come and attack and murder us Black Panther Party members. A Senate investigation hearing came down. Sammy Davis Jr. was all on the thing, let the Panthers surrender. Sammy Davis Jr., you don't even know that Sammy Davis Jr. donated $60,000, $70,000 to us in the Black Panther Party. People like Ossie Davidson and others donated money to us. And when I went to jail, they took care of my wife, Artie Seale at the time. I'm just saying numerous organizations came. We, in effect, were directly coalesced with 39 different organizations. Half of them were people of color organizations and Black community organizations. The others was all our white left radical and white liberal friends. So we had a lot of organizations that ultimately supported us.
Unfortunately, That had to be the last question. What we want to remind you of, this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we will reconvene. We will hear Charles Jones, one of the scholars who has written about the Black Panther Party. We will hear Dr. Uhuru Williams, who will talk about the Black Panther Party. And then at 3 o'clock, we will have some former Panthers who will talk about their experience in the organization. So don't forget that part at 1 o'clock today, right here. We also have books, posters out in the lobby, and we want to make sure that you are involved and are able to purchase those books to continue to enlighten yourself about what the Black Panther Party was about, and particularly books written by Brother Bobby Seale. Let's give Brother Seale another round of applause. You want to say one last thing? Okay.